everybody, it's Debbie here and welcome back to my crafty den. I've been sitting at my desk looking out the window. It's been pouring rain. I woke up to, it sounded like the wind was howling and it was raining so hard that, I haven't seen it rain that hard in a long time. And so I got up and I came out to my desk and I was sitting here by the open window and then it started to thunder as well. But so I've been waiting for the thunder and all the noise to pass because I have my window open. Of course, it's cooler outside right now. And I wanted to share this bag with you. Now I was stalking people on YouTube like I usually do. Yeah, I was just going, I'm just moving some stuff aside here. I was going through some of my channels that I subscribe to and watching a few, what looked like interesting, YouTube videos. And I saw somebody do this gift bag. Now, I can't remember who it was, but I know it's in my, I watched too many videos that night, I guess. I can't remember who it was. Honestly, I should have looked before I started this. But I'm going to post it, the link to the original video where I saw this. This is a lunch bag. Now, we all know that a lunch bag looks like this and has a flat bottom. This is a much smaller version. These are the bags from the dollar store. But I used the next size up bag to make this one, and I think it's just awesome for a gift bag. See, and they're flat. You know, if you're giving somebody, even if you were giving somebody a homemade card with cash in it, or with a lot of embellishments on it or something, wouldn't it be nice to put it in here? And then my thoughts are, I am just going to fold over the top, punch 2 holes through here, put a ribbon through and tie a ribbon on the front with maybe a gift tag dangling from it here. So I have a gift that I want to give this afternoon, and it's we're taking our granddaughter out for her last dinner before she leaves for university. I'm going to miss her so much. But anyway, I was going to show you how to make this, but I'm just going to use this smaller bag. Do a smaller version. And I'm sorry once again for the lighting. It's almost dark outside and it's 9:30 in the morning. So hopefully the storm doesn't come back. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how to do this. All you need is a napkin, some Mod Podge, and a foam paintbrush. I was using this little 1-inch foam you get a bunch from the dollar store. So first thing that you do is refold the bag. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this gusset in the side. You're going to hold your finger on the inside and run it up this side seam. Whoops. If you do it on the seam, it works better. So do it on the seam and fold this outwards because it naturally wants to fold in like this, but you're going to fold it outwards. This is how I did mine. And then you're going to take the bottom part, try to keep this open now, and you're going to take the bottom part and you're going to put your fingers on both sides and make a new crease. Make a new crease that goes completely up. You might have to put your fingers in here and work these little corners out. But make a new crease that goes in like this. And I just get my fingernails in there. You could put a bone folder in there to keep those corners true. And you just finagle it a little bit and it'll go there. And I think that's the hardest part of this project is refolding the bag. So I've got my bag refolded and now it looks like this, and it opens up at the bottom and has this little flap. So I'm going to take my bone folder. You could use the your scissors. You could use a ruler. You could use anything if you don't have a bone folder. So don't worry about that. Mine's just sitting here on my desk, so I'm going to use it. So now I'm taking this and I'm There. I'm just opening this bag up really, really good. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is, these bags from the dollar store are not like lunch bags, but if you get lunch bags, they'll actually be, when you do this, these won't come out even. So you're going to take the top edge that overhangs and you're just going to trim it off. But for the sake of this one, because these are so close, I'm just going to fold this one back. And I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to take a hair, just a tiny hair. See this? And I am going to start right here and I'm going to cut a hair off of here. And it really doesn't have to be much. This one was really, really close, so I really don't want it to be too much. Then I'm going to open this up a little bit. So you've taken this, oh, I didn't even get enough there to open the bag. So maybe a little more than that hair that I did. So your intent with that is to be able to open this up and leave this shape here and have the bottom of the bag like this. Then I'm going to fold this back to get it out of the way. I am going to take the side of the bottom that you cut. You're going to take that, and on the line that you folded, you're just going to cut along. And you're going to cut that off because that's the extra piece that you don't need. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight or anything. You're not going to see it. So then I'm going to take my wet glue, whichever wet glue you prefer. I am just going to use, I think I'll use my tacky glue. Where's my tacky glue? Up there, probably. Well, I have a little bit of tacky glue in here. So, see, I just put my glues in these little bottles. But for this, I'm going to pull that little pointy nozzle off because I want a little bit more than that. So I'm going to take this, and on the part of the bag that was the original bottom, see that? That's when the bag was folded up, this was the bottom. And what you've done is you cut half the bottom off. So I'm going to take that part that we didn't cut off, and I'm going to put some wet glue. I'm going to put it in here too to make sure that these little flaps are glued down good. And I'm going to get some glue all in here, really, really good. And right along the edge too. Then I'm going to take if you do this, make sure that you clean the top of your glue off really, really good. And then when you put this little cap back on, make sure that needle's down in there, or that pin. These are those little fillable bottles with the tiny little points on that I got. I really like them. They're handy. And then I'm going to put this right into place. Just all you do is put your finger on it and then fold that piece that's the side of the bag over top of it and press it down. Press it down really, really good. And now what you've done is you have reformed the bag. You've changed it from a lunch bag style to one of those flat bags. Now these kind of remind me of the type of bag that you'd get in a little gift shop where you were buying a little trinket for somebody, a piece of jewelry, something like that. You know how sometimes you get those little, I can remember I got a gift from my mom years ago, and it was like a little vellum bag, and it was shaped like this. But right now, this is just a plain paper bag. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a napkin. I chose one of these roses, the rose napkins that I just hauled. And I did it because when I put my bag on here, this is like this. So it goes right to there. And so it uses a little over half the bag. It covers a little over half the napkin. So I'm going to take my napkin and I am going to cut it here. Now I have 2 napkins out because it goes over half the 6-inch width. It goes beyond that. So I'm going to cut this piece off. It'll be too short. And I'm going to use this piece. And what I'm going to do is take my fingers. I'm just going to lick my finger and my thumb. And I'm going to pull this apart. These are only 2-ply napkins. Make sure if you've got 3-ply napkins that you get all the white tissue off the back of the printed part. It's only printed on one piece. And when you're Mod Podging something down, you only want the one piece. So I'm going to take this and figure out where I want it on here. And that's pretty good right there. I might go over that a little wee bit, just like that. Actually, what I might do is go right to the edge of the napkin and put it right there. Oh, I wonder if that fits. It doesn't. So it goes like that. But that's kind of cute. Then I just might wrap the other one around. Yeah, so this is the front. So what I'll do is I'm going to put this over a little wee bit this way. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So it's not hard to do this. All you're going to do is set your napkin down on your paper bag. You're going to get some Mod Podge on here. And you're going to start, so it soaks through. This is not, and be very, very gentle. So you can see when it starts to soak through. And you're just going to go very, very gently, and you're going to work your way out. So I'm going to take, sorry, I just hit my light and moved it. It's really dark still. I can't believe it. So I'm going to put Mod Podge on this side of the bag. So you just want to work on one side at a time. This doesn't have to be thick. Very, very thin will work. When I get to the top of the bag, I always brush out because I don't want to go like this and have some of that Mod Podge go into the bag. It's a good way of gluing your bag shut. Ask me how I know. Yeah, everybody makes the mistake sometime. So that's pretty good. And then I'm going to take this bag, I'm going to turn this around this way. And I'm going to set my napkin on here the way that I wanted it. Kind of line it up at the bottom. Then I'm just going to pull it tight. Tight as I can when I put it down. Very gently, though. These are really thin when you're down to one layer, so very, very gently. Make sure you don't have any glue or anything on your fingers when you do this, because when you go like this, it'll stick to the top of the tissue and rip it. It's very thin. Now you can, I just use my fingers, but you can take a piece of saran wrap and put it down here and use it if you don't want any wrinkles. I kind of like the wrinkles. It gives it a vintagey look. But if you don't want the wrinkles, put a piece of saran wrap down here and use it to push those pieces down really, really tight. So that's pretty good. I'm going to lift this up so it doesn't stick to the table. Whoa. See? I don't even have to cut that side. It just came right off. There. Look at that. And while this is still wet, if you get it started, you can kind of just go right along the edge and pull most of this off. You don't even have to cut this. And be careful you don't rip it too far, because if you do, up there, I'm just going to leave that little bit there. I'm not going to worry about it. You can get this a little bit damp with your fingers if you'd like. If you have a little bit of water, you could brush a little water along the edge. Always pull away from your paper too, never pull up. That's starting to dry, so it's not going to come off a little bit there. So I'll wet that and take it off after. So you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Yeah, I want that off. I just lick my finger and kind of dampen the edge a little bit. And then that'll pull off. And that tissue paper rips really easy when it's wet. But do it very carefully, because you don't want to rip this down and then have a big stark white piece on your bag. You'll have to start all over again. There. So that's one side. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Just like that. So I've got both sides of the bag done. It's a bit damp still, but that's okay, because I'm going to add another coat of Mod Podge to the outside of this. So I am just going to take my paintbrush and very gently, oops, something stuck on it there. I'm just going to work from the center out, and I'm going to just put some sealer on this. Just very gently. Okay, when you get to the edges and you've ripped that off, I like to go along with my Mod Podge. I'll put my hand in the bag and open it up so I have a little bit of a flatter surface to work on, and I'm not working right on the edge. And then I like to go along with the Mod Podge and seal down the tiny little ripped edges. Sometimes they'll go one way and sometimes they'll go another. I just play with them, and that means that there's a little bit extra support along the edge of this bag, because I don't want it to tear. So there's that. That's the bag. And I am going to, I'm just going to take this tube of hand cream and I'm going to put it inside, and I'm going to stand it up like this, and I'm going to let it air dry while I work on the next of my project, the next part. I want a little card to stick in the bag, and I want it to match. It's going to be a set, so it's a little gift bag set. And I've got this turquoise blue envelope, which I think looks pretty with this. And the card, so it's a little card set. So I'm going to fold this with my bone folder, so it's nice and tight, the crease. Then I am going to put a nice light coat of Mod Podge on the front of this. Just a nice light coat. Now make sure you pay particular attention to your edges, especially on the card. And you get them really good, because you don't want this to peel up, because it's the card especially. Now this is for a specific gift, and my husband is a guitar player, plays in a band, or has played in a band, not currently, but most of his life he's played in a band. And he writes music, so he has written out a verse that's going to go on here. So I want this corner, so I'm going to put it down as close as I can get it to this edge, and then I'm going to lift this up, and I'm just going to use my bone folder. I'm not going to push hard, I'm just using the weight of the bone folder to lay this over the card. There. Now it's down, and my bone folder, I can do that with this because it has a nice round smooth edge. There's nothing on there to catch the tissue and rip it. So that's that. Now I'm going to let this dry really, really well before I take the edges off. So I will take this, because it's this green, I don't want a lot of this to show. So on the inside, I am going to take a mat of white cardstock and put it in here for my husband to write his verse on. He definitely is the poet in our family. So that is that. So I'll be back when the whole thing is dry and set and show you what the set looks like together. So I just wanted to show you that I've changed a few things. This was the green card, and when I put the napkin on it, it's absolutely stunning. It's stunning. This very subtle flower. It looks really old, but it's not what I was going for. So because the bag was light white, I needed something that would match it. So I switched over to a cream cardstock and did the same thing, almost the exact same picture, part of the napkin on the front. So it matches the bag really, really well. I took the napkin and I cut out this part of the napkin and put it on there. I took the back and I just did the flap. Isn't that pretty though? And that's all it needs to be really decorative. And so, and then my husband wrote his little poem in here, and then, or not, it's not like a poem, but I guess some words of wisdom. And it's really nice and sturdy, and it's something that she can keep. And I have finished the bag off by, I took the crocodile. I have We Are Memory Keepers crocodile, and I put the flap over and punched 2 holes. So all I did to make the flap was just fold this in half. And this has an awesome texture. It almost feels like some kind of a, it's hard to describe, like a fabric, like a vinyl fabric or something. Yeah, it's different. So then I took my hot glue gun and I put a ribbon across the back, and right in the middle between the 2 holes, I used my 2-inch punch to punch out a piece of the napkin and a piece of backing cardboard or cardstock at the same time so that I could put them together, and then I hot glued them over the ribbon to keep the ribbon down. So all I have to do when I'm done is we are going to put cash in here and put the whole envelope, put it in the envelope, put the envelope in here, and then I will just shove this ribbon through the 2 sides there and there, and then I will tie a nice pretty pink bow on the front, and all she'll have to do is untie it and pull the ribbon out to be able to get it. And she still has this really cool bag if she wants to use it to put a keepsake in or something, or maybe just put the card back in and leave it there. So that's what I have, and I'm quite happy with it. Oh, I did one more thing, but it's actually, we have the cash put away right now, and I actually made a little hidden paperclip bookmark that I made, that I'll show it to you. I'll show that right here. So this is the little paperclip that I made. So it's a hidden style paperclip, and it goes with the bag and the card. So it's a matching set. And so I will clip the money into the envelope with the bookmark and put it all in here. And that's it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And bye-bye for now. I'll see you in the next video.